Hello and welcome to my Impact Wrestling review. A lot of things going on in the show tonight. Pretty much the theme of this whole show is the final time you are going to see LAX. For real this time, though. Not what I said 2 weeks ago, which I thought. But this is pretty much goodbye to LAX from Impact Wrestling. And there was going to be a big send-off for tonight. A very proper send-off, I should say, also for them leaving the company tonight. One thing I will say, this was a good video package they actually show right off the beginning of them narrating pretty much, well not them, but whoever narrates the show. I believe it's the guy that used to narrate for TNA for a lot of pay-per-views. Pretty much kind of going over LAX's career a little and for the past 2 years and how tonight we celebrate them as they're about to leave. So I thought this was a good way for an intro to the show. But the first match we do kick off is the ECW Originals and Tessa Blanchard versus OVE in a street fight. And this was a really great match to kick off the show, in my opinion. Pretty much a crazy, pretty much 8-man tag, well, street fight. So it was pretty much all over the place of anybody going in and out. A spot fest, as you would say. But this was actually really fun to look at. Pretty much, I did kind of like how everybody just kind of kept jumping out of the ring like crazy. Fulton pretty much doing a back body drop on Jake, landing on everybody on the outside of the ring. Dreamer even pretty much trying to do doing an axe handle from the apron on everybody, which looked kind of crazy. RVD doing a big Top Con Hilo, jumping on everybody to the outside of the ring. Like I said, a lot of just crazy moves from the top rope. Dave Chris doing a big superplex on Tessa Blanchard to the outside of the ring. Also, like I said, everybody's just jumping to the outside of the ring. Then they even got to a face-off between Sammy and Tessa Blanchard. Tessa said something to him that they had to bleep the words out as he did his whole thumb thing in her face. Then after that, Tessa pretty much hit him with a cutter then. At that point, what else? There was a lot going on in this match. One thing else. I'm trying to see what else happened in this match. There was a lot of crazy spot fest from. I did like what RVD did. He did a freaking crazy Rolling Thunder in there and a big kick on Dave Chris. One spot I did like was when Madman Fulton, he pretty much kind of almost, he didn't no-sell it, but Tessa did a big tornado DDT. He was still up. Jake came in for the save. Fulton picks up Tessa in the air with a big, military press slam. But Jake jumps off the top rope with a big cutter then. RVD pretty much breaks it up. Dreamer then came in with a kendo stick, starting whacking folks then. Pretty much RVD pretty much did a big slingshot from the slingshot on the ground on everybody. Rhino and Dreamer put in a table then. Callahan came in, pretty much was about to he's about to pretty much do a big power driver on Tommy Dreamer, but Dreamer got out of it, pretty much grabbing his balls then. Jake came for the save, but Rhino gored him through the table. Right after that, RVD hits a big 5-star frog splash then, and then Tommy, he gave Tessa the his kendo stick, actually pretty much put him in a crossface as she bled from her nose then. So big spot fest, I will say that. OVE loses again, as some people were kind of complaining about, and I understand because they need to build Sammy against Cage for the world title that's coming, kind of coming soon when Bound for Glory comes around. But he didn't really take the pin. But I get the whole story that's behind this whole Tessa and Sami Callihan feud still. So it didn't make sense right here, and I actually thought it was a really fun match with the ECW guys and OVE and Tessa. So good spot fest, good story behind it. I enjoyed it. I know some people may not like it, but I actually enjoyed the match. Probably shut some of the doubters up. I say that RVD cannot still move. What does that prove? Because I thought the guy was moving good out there. I just wanted to say that. But pretty much then after that, Ace Austin, who is still able to trick Alicia Edwards in anything, pretty much in a wheelchair, saying he has a herniated disc, a broken arm, cracked vertebrae, but that's not gonna stop him from supporting Alicia tonight. Pretty much says she's got a big match against Taya tonight. But Austin said, why isn't Eddie here? As she wanted herself. And as she walked away, Ace Austin pretty much gave this, this shit grin, snickering in at the camera. They played a lot of LAX's moments throughout the night. Like the first time they won the tag team titles, which was a good moment. There's a lot of moments they were showing throughout tonight. Like I said, the theme is about them tonight. But then next, they went to the North as Jimmy Jacobs interviewed them. Pretty much says, well, everybody's looking all sad, huh? And they had these party hats on like it was a birthday. But it's not a birthday. It's a celebration for LAX leaving. Everyone wants to be all sad, but we're having a celebration, all right? And you looked at Alexander like, you're looking happy, right? As he kind of gave some bit of a smirk. And pretty much says, it's going to be a party tonight. They had a piñata and everything. It's going to be a fiesta, and they're going to go find some people to party with tonight. So they had, like, the blow things you do at a party and stuff. So they were going to look for some party animals. Next thing they went to was Taya versus Alicia Edwards. There's not really much to say from this match because it was not really that good. I can see why a lot of people say Alicia's not good in the ring that much, and I can understand. The most thing you can take throughout this match is this: Ace Austin coming out in a wheelchair, and Don Callis and Josh Matthews on commentary. The funniest line I thought was when Josh Matthews says, well, Austin, he wants to bang Eddie's wife, and I like Callis' response to, what's wrong with wanting to bang someone's wife? It's a natural human emotion, which I thought that was hilarious, okay? It's a natural human emotion to bang someone's wife, okay? So you can't stop because he's attracted to her, which I thought that was hilarious in my opinion. It's a natural human emotion to bang someone else's wife. Wow, Don Callis, man, the guy's got a great word sometime, man. The guy knows what he's talking about. He even said, like, yeah, he's in a wheelchair. Something I would have done, like, too. I actually done back then, as he was saying. But as this match went on, Johnny Bravo got involved, pretty much pulling Alicia's leg out of the ring. Ace Austin got out of his wheelchair, did his little handstand thing, kick on Johnny Bravo. But Taya still picked up the win with the Road to Valhalla. Alicia still checked on him. And then after that, Ace Austin, for some reason, saying that, get some help out for him as he still paid the fake injury. Callis said that's the love drug out there. So I thought this was hilarious due to the commentary team and Ace Austin. So the story may not sound that good, but I think Ace Austin has just been on a riot. I still loved it last week when he kind of held up the Ace card at Eddie while he was in the ambulance and start humping the air like, I'm gonna fuck your wife, which was hilarious to me. So Ace Austin has kind of been gold throughout most of these segments, but still they make Alicia kind of like a moron throughout here, and she'll just probably end up yelling at Eddie anyways, which is just even dumber. So there you go. Next after that, the North was still walking around trying to find some people and they pretty much want to know if they want the party. Rhino grabbed the piñata and pretty much says, I'll show you fun. You want to see some fun? Pretty much the North ran off, and RVD, I like his response. He's like, I like the party. And then he says, why are you so mad, bro? And Rhino says, I just wanted the fucking candy. Which I thought that was funny. That was just one of those, it is not supposed to be funny, but it is funny. It's like one of those comedy segments where you don't see it coming from anywhere in a way. So I thought Rhino's response was hilarious. Like, I just wanted the fucking candy. That's all he wanted, man. He just wanted the candy. So, yeah, Rhino and RVD, that was hilarious. Kama Singh pretty much introduced the Desi Hit Squad now. Colin Mahabali Shira, the Indian Big Warrior. It's not a good name. Shira went against Cody Deaner. This is kind of a squash match, really. Shearer looked good, I will say that. It looks like he's gotten better to what I remember, because I didn't think he was that good in the company years ago when he was wrestling in Impact. It just really wasn't that good. Go look it up, because like I said, all I remember this guy was just being in the Revolution with James Storm, and then he did that dumb dance, and then he went to WWE, and he was in developmental, but then they released him from developmental. So a lot of people said he learned something from there. So it looked okay, and he won with the World's Strongest Slam. But if he can make the Desi Hit Squad look like a credible team instead of looking like job goofballs all the time, getting tricked by the Deaners and everybody else, maybe this will be good. Because I'm surprised they're still rolling with this Desi Hit Squad. But since they brought Shira back in, let's see where this goes. The Rascals went against honestly, it was just three random luchadors, to be honest. I didn't know who they were. I think one name was Toxic. This was a spot fest. That's all it was. It was a spot fest, okay? Spot fest. If you want to see just some crazy flips and stuff, you can see it. And then they just said the Rascals are going Bound for Glory. I didn't know they were not going to Bound for Glory, but this is basically what it was, a spot fest, okay? That's what you're going to get from it, and that's just all you're going to see was a freaking spot fest. So it's not really much to say from that, just a random match. Moose was walking around the streets of Mexico, Mexico City, I think. He was walking around Mexico, pretty much mocking Ken Shamrock with his little crappy bare knuckle fighting league, and he was on the streets of Mexico looking for the most dangerous people to fight. I don't know how safe that is, to be honest, depending on what part of Mexico you are. Cause I'm about to say, sure, any one of these guys ain't gonna try to shoot or stab you out here, man. I wouldn't want to fuck with the cartel if I was him, but I don't know, but pretty much he just found these three random guys and just starts beating the crap out of them, which look like very bad punches in his background music, by the way, too. So Moose saves the most world's dangerous man just because he beat up some random guys in Mexico. Those punches just look horrible, by the way, too. They just look like he was hitting air half the time, so I don't really know what to say about that. They then went to Rich Swann and Tommy Dreamer as they were talking about Brian Cage's bachelor party in Vegas. As Cage says, everything's going to be set up. We're going to cheat all day. We're going to cheat all night like no one's ever cheated before. And then Dreamer starts talking about some story about how he had 6 girls in ECW or something, which I can believe that because there's ECW in the 90s at the time. So I could believe that story. Jimmy Jacobs interviewed Tennille Dashwood as she welcomed her to Impact Wrestling, as she talked about the new competition and who she wanted to face. But the main focus was going after the Knockouts Championship that Taya has. That Tennille pretty much says that Taya's first pro wrestling match was against Tennille back then. It didn't go well for Taya, but she's done an amazing job nowadays. So things have kind of worked for her. But she says the one thing she does want is the Knockouts Championship, and pretty much says it's going to be everything's going to be about her, or everything is about me. So we'll see where Tennille goes from this. Hopefully it's better than her Ring of Honor run when she was over there, and especially in WWE, it didn't work out well for her. Tennille's good, so we'll see where this goes for her. I know she had a match not that long ago, but we'll see what's going to happen. Next, probably one of them, in my opinion, I think was one of the worst things of the night. Su Yung versus Jess Cabot in a no DQ match. I can't tell who's the face of the heel in this anymore. All I can say is this. Su Yung doing a old school on the outside of the ring on the barricade, and then using a stapler gun to staple Havoc in the pussy and her boob in, and I don't know, she did a cannonball in after she had the ladder. No, not the ladder, but cannonball off the apron, and you tried to use her bloody glove. Havoc pretty much blocked it, hitting a tombstone in to end the match. But then pretty much right after the match, she sat back up. Both women brawled. They fought to the back. They went in some cinematic and first off, all these camera shots looked horrible. Okay, these were some horrible camera shots. It 1 minute cuts here, then it cuts there, then it cuts over here, then it cuts over there. It's just very poorly edited camera shots. It was skipping, just skipping. And then next thing you know, they show Havoc getting a noose and hanging Su Yung over a stairwell, which I guess she killed Su Yung. And then security guards had to, get it. Where is this going? I don't know if this is doing some Undead Realm thing. Are we committing murder on Impact again now or something? What is going on with that? It's we're just going to murder people now for some odd reason. And then they said we're going to keep you on an update in the hospital. Hey, but let's transition to Cage's bachelor party because we got getting some happier news after someone was possibly killed on here. We're not going to call the cops or anything. So Havoc can murder people on this show now. So I don't know what to think of that. They then went to Melissa Santos's bachelorette party, where it was pretty much a bunch of random women there, maybe her friends, and some knockouts from Alicia Edwards, Taya, Madison Rayne, and Kiera Hogan. Taya had champagne, but it really wasn't for everybody, and she only didn't pour it for a lot of people. Alicia had to take the bottle from her and give to everyone else some champagne. Madison said, "This party is not about you, okay?" Next thing you know, it was a knock at the door. Kiera went to answer it. It was the police. There was a cop at the door. she left because pretty much it was a male stripper, which was Joey Ryan, which I see why she left. Kiera Hogan, if you look at Twitter, she swings the other way. So if you want to go look that up, so I'm not getting into that much, but you'll see what I'm talking about. But Joey Ryan, who was dressed as a male stripper, pretty much started stripping then, as Ty kind of looked grossed out by it as he poured champagne into his underwear. Then, listen, as long as this guy's not doing these idiotic dick suplexes thing, this kind of fit right up his alley. I don't know what Joey Ryan does other than those damn dick spots, which is just, honestly, is just ridiculous to me at this point. So I just can't even take this guy even seriously anymore nowadays. I can understand why a lot of people bury him now, especially Cornette, but at least it was something different that fit right out of his character, I felt like. Then he went to Cage's bachelor party where Rich Swann and Tommy Dreamer were staring at him, making these noises as Swann said he was going in hard. Dreamer said he was turned on by what was happening, but this wasn't the kind of cheating he was expecting. They didn't look at Cage. It looked like he was just having so much joy. Maybe he was getting some blow or something. But next thing, what he was holding was donuts. This is his cheat day, folks. He has donuts, all right? So this isn't your regular type of cheat day right here, all right? These are these are donuts. So this is what you're this is honestly what you're gonna see from this is donuts, which is hilarious to me. And you know, pretty much Swann and Dreamer like this is the type of bachelor party what you're gonna do. So this is cheat day, man. If you're an athlete, you don't really eat a lot of sweets or sugar, so this is probably possibly the only day he does it, because his workout regimen must be crazy for a man his size. And he says it will only be a quickie. Personally, I thought this segment was funny with him, and I did get a good laugh out of it, like I did with the North segment also. So this was a very funny segment to watch with Cage, Swann, and Dreamer. They played more LAX highlights of the Barbed Wire Massacre. They played another Johnny Swinger video, but then they went to the main event, which was LAX's last match against Rich Swann. The Mac. This was a great match to watch. I will say that, and it was a good note to go off on too. In a way, it was a spot fest in a way, but crazy moves they were going in out there. I did like that double power bomb thing LAX does, which was pretty cool. Even what Swann hitting a Frankenstein on Santana with Mac hitting a frog splash after that. It pretty much got into the end when Mac and Swann hit super kicks on both LAX. And then Swann hit a lethal injection on Santana. Then a Stone Cold Stunner by the Mac. And then a Phoenix Splash to end the match. As then pretty much, then after that, LAX and Conan and pretty much most of the locker room, or the face locker room, came out to the front to pay their respects to LAX, holding them up on their shoulders, celebrating as the crowd chanted LAX to end the show. In a way, I thought it was a good moment. You know, overall, I said this a few weeks ago, you know, which I thought was LAX's final match, but it really wasn't their final match. To be honest, you know, they gave them a good send off. And you know, honestly, because you see so many people leave Impact for many reasons that, you know, you just see them disappear after taping and you never see them again. The last person I remember having a big send-off that they kind of built off into, and, you know, it doesn't matter, LX still put people over, too, in the ending when they were on their way out the door, was Kurt Angle, because they had a big thing for him. You know, they quote-unquote said retire before he went back to the WWE. They had a big, you know, send-off for him, and, you know, Bobby Lashley still turned heel, and he put him over, which was pretty good, too. So, in a way, yeah, and you gotta remember, man, this is like the second incarnation of LAX. This wasn't the first one, but a lot of people are right. They were both Santana and Ortiz ever since LAX came back 2 years ago. I wasn't sure about it at first, and I was excited to see them, but these guys have been like the backbone to this company. They were like one of the shining beacons of hope, especially during the horrible Global Force era. Okay, this was like one of the bright spots I will give Jared and them, was when LAX had came back. All right, because they were like the only bright spot out of the whole thing for the past few years. When everybody shitting on Impact and no one didn't care about a lot of stuff was going on, these guys were pretty much the glue, in a way, the backbone here. And these guys have put on great matches for the past few years against OVE, against the OGs, against the Lucha Brothers. Which, you know, what's funny before I watched this show, which by the way, Impact is already kind of incorporated into Access TV right now. If you kind of looked at that on Friday, the AAA show in New York happened, and that was with Impact, and the Lucha Brothers once again went against LAX on that show too. So in another great match. So it's kind of funny in a way, because I just kind of I did see that show when they went against them on there for like the AAA World Tag Team titles and stuff. So in a way, I wish it kind of aired this before they went to AEW, because we all know where they are at right now. So there's no, in a way, I wish this was aired 2 weeks ago. So it's already been spoiled, and we know where Santana and Ortiz are right now. So in a way, though, I would say it is kind of sad to see them go. But I'm sure they're gonna have a lot of great success in AEW and put on a lot of great matches with people. Come on, I kind of said before, I do want to see the Young Bucks versus LAX. Personally, I have to believe they made the right choice going to AEW and that WWE and everything. Because if they went to WWE, don't get me wrong, they would have killed the NXT and went against Undisputed Era. But I felt like if they went to the main roster, it was only going to go so far they could go in WWE, and I think AEW was the best fit for them. But in a way, this is like, Impact, these guys in Impact, they had a great segment. They had a great run here, all right? And a fantastic run, if you ask me. They were, like I said, they put on the best matches in the past few years, and they were the most thing to pay attention to, because if I can go back, especially during that first night when they came back, what was it? It was just Conan, Santana Ortiz, Homicide, and Diamante they had. That's when the new incarnation LAX came in, and then they had Low Key for a second, until Low Key left for his own reasons, and then Homicide was the part of the whole OGs feud. I don't know why Diamante disappeared from this whole thing, because she was part of the group, but she kind of disappeared, and they brought in Kingston in, so they had a lot of great things happen. They were like I said, they was like the most thing I would look forward to the show every week, because I like the backstage segments they did with Conan and the King storyline, because I didn't know how that was gonna go, and like I said, they went against the OGs. So like I said, it's a lot of it was a lot of good things to come from this, all right? And I'm glad they went on. I'm glad they went out on a good note. I am glad they did go out on a good note, though. And the whole locker room celebrated with them, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss them. I wish they could come out to that music in AEW, but they're not gonna be. I know they're not gonna be called LAX and AEW, because Impact owns the name. So remember, people, this is the second incarnation of LAX. All right, I would love it if they could just bring the name with them. I don't know what Conan's gonna do from here. I know Conan works within Impact, so maybe he'll be doing something else. Maybe we'll see him back again and doing something as a manager for somebody. I don't know, but Santana and Ortiz, man, they did right, man. They did real good, and I'm looking forward to seeing them now every Wednesday on AEW. I will say that. So LAX, man, hasta la muerte, y después, 5150. Like I said, they put on the great thing. 5150 matches, Full Metal Mayhem, Barbed Wire Massacre. Where do you go from there? So modern day LAX, this is like probably one of the big success stories out of this company for them. But after that, I wish they would just ended off on that, so kind of going right after with what the whole Su Yung thing, because they went to into a hospital, and the doctors tried to bring her back, but they had no success. She died, but next thing you know, she just woke up then. So I guess she came back from the dead now. So I don't know where that goes, but the most thing you only really want to talk about the ending was just of the LAX versus Mac and Swan match, and how they got a very great send off. So hey man, goodbye to LAX on Impact. Welcome to AEW, and we'll hope to see some good shit from there. I will say that. But other than that, I'm out of here. Comment, subscribe, tell me what you think about this show. But yeah, that's how I'm going to end it from here, though. But yeah, I'm out here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.